Prince Harry has spoken out about the royal family yet again, this time on an American podcast, discussing the way that he was raised by his father, Prince Charles, and saying that he had genetic pain and suffering passed on from the rest of the royal family. Well, this obviously comes after that tell-all Oprah interview, but, you know, is this wise?
Look, I mean, when you really listen to what he said there's no blame. He's talking about, you know, for me, I would call it like generational curse and things that pass on from parents and grandparents. And I feel like, look, we cannot lie and say that we haven't witnessed all the stuff that he has gone through, whether it's through his parents, losing his mum, you know, stuff in the family, regards to his dad and so on. So him speaking his truth, I don't see what the big problem is. Like, it's out there in the public. Everyone acts like, you know, they make these statements and straight away the initial thing is to attack. But he's speaking what he's lived, which we have seen throughout all of these years. We've seen it. It's been in the headlines from whether it's his father to whatever else has happened in the family. So now he's just saying, to me, it felt like he was saying, listen, when these things happen in your family, we need to be a bit more present and honest about it so that we can make a change when it comes to our children and their children. That's what I feel.
Well, what do you think, Nadia?
First of all, I was struck how American he's becoming. Because I've only read it. That's the first time I've heard it. Right? Did you know? Did you hear he's getting an American accent?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I mean, like, I kind of saw the headlines and I was like, oh, God, what's Harry complaining about? And I didn't actually read below the headline or read what he's saying. And I think what he is saying is, you know, is valid. And I think it's a brave thing to try and stop the cycle of what's happened through your family. I suppose I just don't know what it will do for him. Obviously, it's done great for him talking to a therapist about it, and I think it's brilliant. I'm just trying to work out, is this the place that he wants now, where he becomes an advocate for mental health, and by him talking about these things, he then, you know, affects change in other people, in which case he's got a great platform to do that, and good for him. But I worry that he's in the pink cloud of talking about things, and that can come back on you.
I have to say, I agree with you in that. I think you've got to think, right, what am I trying to achieve through this? And I'm not sure what he's trying to achieve. Is he trying to help himself, or is he trying to help other people, or is he trying to do both? I mean, if he's trying to help himself, I would say do that in a safe space. You know, do it somewhere that you have privacy and then you can really work these things out and not have the press leaping on every single, you know, and R that you come out with. If he's trying to do it for everybody else, to be honest, I don't know how successful that is going to be. And I would also think, what is the impact going to be on his family relationships? Because if I was his brother listening to that, or his father listening to that, I'm not sure how I would receive it.
I just feel like if he's dealing with the trauma that he's experienced throughout his life, losing his mum, and he spoke about in that podcast feeling like his entire life has felt like the Truman Show, which I don't think anyone could take that away from him. It must have been just the most difficult thing as a child to grow up in everybody's view. Even if a part of him was speaking out because maybe perhaps he doesn't have the relationship or the ability to be able to say the things he wants to say to those family members that have made him feel that way, or to the people in his life that have shaped him and put him in this position, who cares? I think if this is cathartic for him in any way, shape or form, if this helps him deal with his trauma, whether it's for himself or for other people, so that he can say, oh, don't worry, you're not alone out there, you know, I've experienced similar things. Why does he have... I don't know, I just think, why can't he make those decisions and just do what he's got to do to get through his trauma?
And, you know, maybe the thing is, because it's Mental Health Awareness Week and he does have his mental health charity, maybe this is just something... I suppose it feels like, is he always going to be talking about this stuff? But this might be very much a one-off, and it's another thing that
But why isn't it OK to always be talking about this stuff?
I think it is OK if it's what...
Look, you know, we're talking about mental health, and the reality is, when we do look at things on the psychodynamic level, there is always, you know, not always, but there's some connect to how we are, who we become, what we're feeling, how we learn to love, how we learn to end things from our relationships that we've built as children. Now, if this is something that he's had to battle with in silence for so many years, and now he feels he's finally becoming to his own. And yes, that is moving away from his royal duties and having a wife and all the things that we've seen him being attacked for. Then this is what we're doing. What I hope is that, like you said, Kaye, he will have a safe space, because no matter what he says, they
you
surely
think it is
know
safe for him, the way he's
I
doing
think
it?
he feels like this is safe,
Yeah.
but when you're going through the pain, sometimes you're not even aware that you're in a position to make yourself be even more attacked.
Yeah, and I mean, it is good that we're all talking more, and it is Mental Health Awareness Week, and we obviously want to encourage people to do that, but we're now at the stage we're going to have to think through, well, what are the implications on other people? What are we achieving from this? And I do think, right, OK, if I was William and I was sitting listening to that podcast, what would I be thinking?
Maybe
you know, would I feel it was a judgment on me? You know, is that something that Harry should also consider? I mean, I'm not saying that he should or not, but we have to consider these things because we're not in a vacuum. And he's never going to be in a vacuum.
No.
Because, unfortunately, he's born to the role that he's in.
So then is it even worth asking the question, why is he doing it publicly? If he's never going to be able to be in a vacuum, he may as well do everything publicly and
how
say
do you
it.
not know William probably would want to do the same, but he can't because he knows he's in line